The Palais Garnier is one of Paris's most iconic monuments. But is it worth a visit, or is it merely an overhyped tourist trap? Come along to learn more about this incredible building that inspired the story of the Phantom of the Opera. Crowning the Place de l'Opéra sits the Opéra Garnier, a jewel of Second Empire architecture that has earned its place among the city's major landmarks. But the elegant facade, adorned with elaborate sculptures celebrating famous composers, types of theater, and mythological figures, are currently undergoing renovation, remaining hidden behind scaffolding and colossal advertisements. Inside, a palace made of marble awaits anyone who visits, offering a feast for the eyes before you even arrive in the theater to view a performance. As you enter the room of the Grand Escalier, or Grand Staircase, two bronze statues light your way into the opulent atmosphere. Rich swathes of marble bathe the stairs and columns, contrasting with extravagant touches of onyx, copper, mosaics, gilding, and painting adorning the rest of the space. Richly decorated down to the last detail, each step up the stairs leaves the visitor in awe at a new masterpiece. After the first flight of stairs, you will find the Grand Foyer, a large hall practically dripping with elaborate gilded paneling, which is impressive enough until you gaze up at the ceiling. Reaching a stratospheric 6 meters in height, the painted ceiling by artist Paul Baudry depicts the history of music, comedy, and tragedy. A bust of the architect Charles Garnier is now prominently on display in the Grand Foyer, but at the opera's grand opening, he was reportedly forgotten and had to pay for his own ticket, causing a small scandal. The library houses over 30,000 books, in a space originally planned for Emperor Napoleon III, but by the time the opera opened, the emperor had died and France had become a republic. Today, the library and museum are incorporated into the tour, showcasing costumes from key performances and artwork related to the building, including a model of the original painting that graced the theater's ceiling from its opening until 1964. Enter the theater today, and this painting is nowhere to be seen. The large-scale work still exists, but has been covered up by a 220 square meter painting by Marc Chagall, representing major works of opera and dance, and the most iconic composers of all time. The theater's elaborate chandelier was originally designed for gas lamps, but was converted to electricity in 1881 with 320 light bulbs. The Opéra Garnier was far from the first opera house in Paris. The city had several before this building, but multiple theaters went up in flames, including one just 2 years before the Opéra Garnier's opening, thanks to the widespread use of candles and flammable sets. The building was placed at the end of the Avenue de l'Opéra, a street that was cleared as part of Baron Haussmann's plan to remake the city. During construction, the building's foundations flooded, as they were beneath the water table. A reservoir was incorporated into the building's design, allowing easy access to water in case of fire. The water is replaced every 20 years, and the cuve in the basement is still used for diving practice by firefighters. The 1910 novel The Phantom of the Opera centers around the Opéra Garnier and would eventually inspire musicals and movies. Finally, in 1989, the Opéra Garnier was joined by the Opéra de Bastille, giving the city 2 opera houses. The Palais Garnier shows mainly opera and ballet performances. Buy tickets at the opera itself or on their website. The opera sells cheap tickets for €10 on the day of the performance, with little to no view of the stage, with a maximum purchase of 2 seats per person. 30 minutes before curtain up, those under 28 or over 65 can get opera tickets for as low as €35 if the show isn't already sold out. Otherwise, ballet starts at €23 and opera can be as low as 25, but is generally well over 100 to upwards of €200. Tickets to the Opéra are 15 euros, but those under 25, those with a Navigo pass, or tickets to certain museums from the past week, enter for just 10 euros. To visit the opera, line up at the side entrance. 2 lines are clearly marked, one for ticket holders and one for those without tickets. On the metro, exit at Opéra from line 3, 7, or 8, or from Richelieu-Drouot on line 9. Nearly 150 years after its opening, the Opéra Garnier never ceases to impress. Despite previously visiting, the Grand Escalier, Grand Foyer, and theater are just as awe-inspiring as the first time I laid eyes on them. Whether you want to discover the building on a first trip to Paris, see it again, or view a performance at the opera, the Palais Garnier is not to be missed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tips and tricks for what to see and do in Paris for as little as possible.